What makes Honeybadger such a flippin' excellent knife? Now, this specific one was gifted to me 4 years ago as a birthday present, and initially I didn't use it. Then it got lost for about a year and a half, and then I found it again and I started using it again. I am so glad that this thing returned its way to me because I flippin' love it. Now, first of all, if you live in South Africa and you are into EDC and EDC knives in particular, there's a couple of things that I think most of us have had issues with. Number one is the pricing of overseas brands. They are expensive. I mean, if you look at Benchmades, if you look at all the imported stuff, Civivis, most of the time, you do get some cheaper Civivis, but most of the time your imported stuff is quite expensive. That's kind of where Honeybadger stands out. These knives are a South African brand, and if I'm not mistaken, are also produced in South Africa. That means that we have the first pick and we don't pay import taxes on these things. So we can get excellent knives for a fraction of the price of bigger brands. So that's the first thing that I really like about Honeybadger. Now, if you are just in the market and looking for a new knife, these are excellent. You can get 8CR13 versions of this exact knife for, I believe, 700 Rand. And if you look at that price in comparison to a lot of other stuff in that price range, it completely obliterates the competition. The only thing that maybe comes close is a Civivi Mini Praxis, but again, that's out of stock everywhere. You can't find that knife. This you can literally purchase on Checkers 6060. I'm not even kidding. Now, there's a couple of things that they did excellent on the design of these knives. There are so many designs. I mean, you've got a sheep's foot version, you've got a hook version, you've got a drop point version, there's a tanto version, which I really want, and I'm probably going to get pretty soon. But there's a couple of things that make these designs stand out for me. Number one, they all include a flipper tab. I don't think there's a single one that does not include a flipper tab. And these tabs are amazing. Secondly, you've got ball bearings inside of here. So again, for the price, even your cheaper ones, they all have ball bearings inside of there. So your action is buttery smooth. I mean, look at that. This thing just drops into its closed position without any effort. Now, something else that I don't think a lot of people realize when they are purchasing one of these knives is that, yes, it does not come with a thumb stud, but it does come with a thumb hole. And that allows for a couple of things that are pretty cool, and I'll show you why now. The first one is that you can spidey flick this like a spider code. You can also open it like a normal knife that has a thumb stud, which is pretty cool. So the thumb hole is pretty versatile, especially flicking it open in the spidey style. It's amazing. I really enjoy opening this knife in that way. I just had to go get this because there's something else that I want to show you about this thumb hole. So on a traditional knife, like let's take the CRKT Overland, you've got thumb studs. And when you're sharpening the knives, a lot of the time, the companies will make the thumb studs pretty big, and what that's going to do is when you're sharpening the knife, you are going to hit that thumb stud against the sharpener, and that won't allow you to perfectly align your edge to the sharpener. With the thumb hole, you don't have that problem. You can sharpen this thing to whatever angle you like, and there's never going to be a problem with, hitting a thumb stud. So that's also a pretty cool hidden feature on the thumb hole. The only thing that I would change or add to this knife is a sharpening choil. So a sharpening choil is a little punch out right there in the blade, and what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to sharpen the entire blade up until the very end of the blade, and you can still sharpen it, but it's just easier if you have a sharpening choil. But that's only on this specific model. I believe most of their models do have finger choils, which are also sharpening choils, so that's not a problem on any other Honeybadger. But yeah, just on this specific one, that's something that I would have liked. But again, the model is out there, so if that's what I want, then that's what I can get. Then all of their knives come with a liner lock on the inside. You've got these plastic, I believe it's a form of FRN or maybe just an injection molded plastic scales, and these scales are also interchangeable, so you can get different scales. You can customize it to your liking. The pocket clip is also reversible. You'll see that there's a little hole right there that you can open up, and then you can just swap the pocket clip to the other side of the knife, which is pretty amazing. And then obviously you have a lanyard door, which I also enjoy in knives. At this point, having a lanyard roll is a must for me. I don't own a single knife, even my cheap ones, that don't have a lanyard. Then let's talk blade steel. So for this one, I've got D2, but like I mentioned, you can get these in ATR versions. I believe, I might be wrong on this, but I believe there's a 14C28N one as well. So, I mean, your versatility on this is crazy. You can get pretty much exactly what you want at the price that fits you. Then in terms of colors, these come in crazy colorways, which I absolutely love in knives. I love that me and all of my friends can all have a Honeybadger, but every single one of our knives look different. I actually had two Honeybadgers. The one was an ATR version, but I dropped it in the ocean when I was out deep fishing, so I'm pretty bummed about that one. But like I said, I'm going to get a new one, and I'm probably going to try and get the Tanto one pretty soon. And then this specific one, I did something pretty cool with. I took it apart and I placed the blade in some ferric chloride, and those of you who are unfamiliar with ferric chloride, it's used to etch Damascus steel in order to show the pattern. So what it did on this specific knife is it just forced the patina. So the blade is a little bit darker than it comes from the factory. You don't get this exact blade color from the factory. This was something that I did to the knife, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, if you are just looking for a next knife, or if you are just wanting to experiment with something cool, I highly recommend Honeybadger, especially for my fellow South Africans. These are excellent knives, they come at a cheap price, and they will last you as long as you take care of them. I highly recommend this, especially for my fellow South Africans. These are excellent, I cannot stress that enough. Honeybadger, well done. So with that said, happy carrying, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.